Hey everybody, this is just a supplement video to help clarify a few things about the first project that I've assigned to you guys. The project covers looking at population changes, so rates of change in populations. And the place that you're going to be getting your data from is this World Bank website. This place has a lot of data. You can actually click, if you're interested in any one particular country, you can click on the country, and then there's a place, maybe I'll show that to you here. If you click on, say, the United States and then go down, you'll see this download data, and you can download it in several different formats. Let's see if it actually, there we go. If you download it in an Excel file, it'll just spit out huge amounts of data. We don't need quite all of that, so we just need some population data. So what you need to do is pick your 6 countries. The United States is going to be one of them, so that's why I'm going to use that one. And from 1991 to the present, go through and figure out, okay, how many people resided in the United States during each of those years. So what I've done is I've kind of saved you some time having to watch me do that, and I've put that in here in a table in Excel. So I've just pulled up Excel. I have one column is the year and one column is the population. I'm going to clean this table up just a little bit, make it look a little prettier. So I'm going to highlight, so put my mouse over this column and click and hold and go over so that I'm highlighting both of these. Let's maybe make these centered. Let's maybe put those two in bold there. And I'm eventually going to want to copy this table, so I'd like to have these lines in between. You notice they're kind of hard to see right now. I actually want them in there. So if you highlight the table, so click on one corner and highlight across, and then right click, you should see something that says Format Cells. You can go ahead and click on that, and what we're going to do is we're going to modify the border. See that up here? We want an outside and an inside for all of those. And then you can see we get a nice table there. So when we copy and paste that into Word, that will come out just very nicely. In fact, let's go ahead and just practice copying that into Word too. So if I need to bring this table into Word, I'm just going to highlight the whole table, and then I'm going to go up to, in Excel, I'm going to copy. Then I just pull up my Word document and I go into edit and I just paste. My table comes in nicely there. So, okay, so one of the things that we're going to need to do is make a graph, and I mentioned in the project that this is called a time series graph. If you haven't had any statistics or haven't seen this before, that name is not all that important. All you need to know is that we're going to be looking at a trend of what's happening here over time. So what I need you to do is go ahead and, well, let's go up to, we're going to insert a chart. So let's click on a line graph, and we want to see the dots on this. So I'm going to click on this, and it's going to, Excel thinks it's smart, so it's going to try to anticipate what I want, but it didn't do it correctly. So right click, notice that it's got the population up here, but it's doing something funky down here. So let's right click on the graph here and hit select data, and we're going to delete, this is what's on the y-axis. It's actually putting both population and year. I don't want both of those on there. So I'm going to remove the year so that just the population is on the y-axis. And then what I want on the x-axis is actually the years. So if I move this just for a second, you'll notice that now that actually looks correct on there. So I'm going to hit OK. And in here, let's just delete. We know that's population, so I'm going to delete that. Let's rename this. So this is population. So this is United States population 1991 to 2012. And let's go ahead and put a label over here and a label over here just to label what these things are. So I'm going to go to Chart Layout, and I want to label the horizontal axis as year, and I want to label the vertical axis as population. Okay, so this is my chart that I'm going to be using here. And that kind of shows how the population of the United States has been growing over the last 20 years. Okay, so we're going to copy this chart here. Let's go over here and hit copy. And then we'll come back over here and let's paste it in there. See how that ends up looking. Now it's behaving kind of strangely, so let's open it up just a little bit here. That's not too bad. Might be nice to have that a little further down. And then we need to label each of these. Okay, so the last thing that you need to do for each of these countries in terms of data crunching is that we're going to need to create a derivative. We're going to need to estimate the derivative for each of these. So let's go in and copy this, and let's paste the year over here. We're going to create a new table where we have population rate going on over here. And if you remember what we did to estimate the derivative, like to estimate the derivative at, we actually don't need, I'm going to delete 91. So I wanted the derivatives at 92 through 2012. You remember the way that we estimated the derivative at 1992 for something like this is we would find the slope between 92 and 91 and the slope between 93 and 92, and we'd average those. So what I'm going to do, and this is a nice property that Excel has, I'm going to type equals. I'm going to have, whenever you type equals, you're telling Excel to compute something. So I'm going to type equals, and the first thing that I'm going to do is in parentheses, I'm going to take, let me put another set of parentheses here. I'm going to do y2, and I'm going to get that by just clicking on the number I want, minus y1 over another set of parentheses, x2 minus x1. Okay, so that's the first slope right here. Okay, and then let's take the slope right here, so we're going to take this y2 minus y1 over parentheses x2 minus x1. Okay, so that gives me the slope here, so I've got the slope here and the slope here, and what I need to do is add those up and divide by 2. So I'm going to close that out and divide by 2 and hit return. So now this gives me the calculation for this slope plus this slope over 2. Now the cool part about Excel is once you have that formula entered, once you have Excel do that work for you, notice there's a little box over here on the right. If you click and drag that box down, it actually computes the rest of these for you. Now with all these decimals, I don't really like the fact that that has all those decimals. So let's right click on that and go to Format Cells, and I just want the number that I want here. I don't want it to have any decimal places. So let's click on number and reduce the number of decimal places that we have there. So that ends up looking a little better. Okay. And again, we're going to copy this table into Word, so we should probably format these cells, put a border in here on the inside and the outside. So that's my derivative function. So you can see now when the population was changing the most and when it's changing the least. And you can see some interesting information about this. So this is what I want you to take a look at and talk about this a bit and see what you come up with. And I want you to do this for each of the 6 countries and kind of talk about what you find and report on those. Your final product should be a Word document with this information in it.